I entered the world of aviation 2 decades ago at age 32. Quite late, in fact, when compared to the industry norm. I brought with me experience from the forestry and mining industries. My personal case file on this subject matter goes back to 2003 and has grown to more than 4,000 pages of documentation. I have brought my concerns now to virtually all levels of government in Canada and senior levels within the transportation industry in the United States of America. My name is Kevin Gauthier. I'm here to inform you of my story as related to aviation safety and safety management systems. I begin by echoing previous calls for a thorough and transparent public inquiry into air safety. This much needed inquiry should perhaps have happened a few years ago. The outcome of such an inquiry could not be complete if it did not gauge the existing status of the International Civil Aviation Organization, aka ICAO's, safety management systems. In theory, safety management systems is a well-intentioned system. In reality, it is a system without merit, as it lacks a supporting foundation. Like a ship without a rudder, SMS is misleading, lacks integrity and substance, and most importantly, in its present form, is managing to reduce aviation standards to an all-time low. It is up to the folks on board the, quote, SMS, unquote, to set a new course. The clock is ticking. I could not possibly begin to describe in detail my own setbacks with SMS. There simply is not enough time in this meeting. In its most basic form, my story is a twisted and sordid tale that would best be told by a neutral authority, only though after a thorough examination and scrutiny of the facts. In this regard, I am prepared to hand over my extensive case file to the authorities. Indeed, I have already submitted several segments of the file as well as sworn affidavits advising I am prepared to testify under oath should I be subpoenaed to do so. In the interim, I offer this brief summary of events. My career as a pilot with Canada's flag carrier began in February of 1998. As a frontline employee, I was encouraged and expected to bring matters of impending safety concern to Air Canada's attention without fear of reprisal. Indeed, this expectation is the very foundation of the carrier's corporate policy and the implementation of safety management systems. In the summer of 2003, ramp employees began the practice of opening cabin doors prior to all engine shutdown at gates of arrival. This practice ultimately served to decrease turnaround times and increase overall on-time performance. To the best of my knowledge, the practice was not, quote, authorized, unquote. Soon thereafter, in the autumn of 2003, all pilots were informed of 2 uncommanded aircraft rollback incidents at gates of arrival. Senior management advised both cases had high potential for serious personal injury and were, quote, classic James Reason, quote, Swiss cheese model, unquote, failures that involve technical, process, human, and management failures, unquote. As a frontline employee, I was able to identify the newly accepted practice as a contributing factor to the onset of these incidents. On the morning of December 10, 2003, I received an internal ramp procedures extract confirming the practice was not authorized. Later that day, I filed an air safety report with, quote, flight safety, unquote, and the Air Canada Pilots Association, aka ACPA, The report is titled, quote, "Deplaning Passengers with an Engine Operating," unquote. On December 15, 2003, an official company response was issued classifying the status of the report as, quote, "Action required," unquote. The official response also stated that I would be provided with a final report once an investigation was completed. In January 2004, I discussed the, quote, "action required," unquote, status of my air safety report with my immediate manager. I was informed the matter was none of my concern. In April 2004, pilots were once again notified of 3 serious parking incidents involving uncommanded aircraft movement within the preceding 2-week period. An internal company bulletin denoted pilots failing to select the park brake to on as part of the shutdown procedure. These actions resulted in incidents that were both dangerous and costly. The unauthorized practice of opening cabin doors was not referenced as a related cause. In June 2004, I was removed from the company's payroll for a 4-day period without warning and merit. In August 2004, pilots were advised the Occupational Safety and Health Policy Committee had received safety concerns with regards to the setting of the park brake and subsequent aircraft rollbacks. In January 2005, I advanced my description of events and perceived internal reprisals to the Air Canada Board of Directors. In May 2005, I received a letter of reply from Air Canada senior management that contradicted the requirements of company and aircraft issued manuals. In September 2005, I submitted a more detailed description of the same concerns to Transport Canada, the Transportation Safety Board of Canada, ICAO, and the Flight Safety Foundation of the United States of America. In early October 2005, my health and disability benefits were suspended without merit. Later during the same month, a Transport Canada inspector acknowledged my air safety report's legitimate concern was filed in good faith and through proper channels. Further, it was noted, quote, "Gauthier may very well have identified the real cause of the A320 parking rollback incidents Air Canada experienced in the spring of 2004. Not only that, he had reported the hazards to his company in plenty of time for the incidents to have been avoided," unquote.